What's up, summoners, and welcome to episode 29 of How Not to Summon a Podcast. I'm Shinny Senpai, and this week I'm joined by the guy who would definitely be White Peak's best friend, Jim.
I definitely need to clean those panties.
And that guy who loves a good body melding, Grayson.
Sup, Scooby Gang.
And this week we are looking at episodes 7 to 12 of Shimonita.
Cock and balls!
So we're back for another installment of Shimonita because we had such fun during episode 1.
I really did have fun.
Everyone had fun.
We hope everybody enjoyed episode 1. So let's kick off with episode 7 of Shimonita. So the episode opens with our introduction to Kosari. Character we probably haven't got on with very well, have we, really?
No
She's
one likes
literally
this
a prick. I hate her.
She is a plot driver.
She
right?
is.
one. And not even a good one. Her plot is pointless.
Her plot is the whole thing revolves around one moment of backstabbing. That's it.
Pretty much. And a helping hand at the end.
Yeah.
Kind of it.
Yeah, that is literally it.
That could have been avoided.
So the first thing that she does is she's running down the street, pops into a shop, and gives all the guards facials.
Yeah.
Slings what looks like yogurt.
What is it?
Yogurt
What is
at
it
the
that
decency
she's
squad.
slinging?
We've all been there.
The amount of times he says this, everyone's going to get such a bad idea of what we're like. Everything. We've all been there. We've all been there.
We've all been there.
Grayson's always slinging yogurt everywhere.
My purple-headed yogurt slinger.
It shouldn't be purple. Like, if
Your head should be purple. What
What?
colour is yours? Green? Or is it brown?
what? Wait, which head are we talking about?
South.
Oh,
Not your northern head.
yeah, a northern head.
The best head.
It's a compass.
So after slinging these yogurt things at the guards, she runs off, and it looks like she's joined by like tons of men to help her escape. She's got some sort of fan club or something. that
There's about
follows her
30
around.
Graysons there, all dressed up in dresses.
And they start distracting the decency squad. She jumps on a motorbike and flees the scene
With a dude.
with a dude.
She's not driving the motorbike.
No.
Someone else.
There is a dude on the motorbike. We find out that her whole aim or goal is that she wants to find Socks and join Socks. There's some hissing going on.
That's the toilet.
Toilet.
Cheers, Fran. Well done, you made another episode.
We're keeping that in.
That's the wife.
So we find out that we are 1 month on from the whole incident where they exchanged the votes for panties and things like that and escaped on that little hot air balloon thing.
Okay, that sounds wrong. Gina.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Yeah.
What,
The
exchange
vote
the
for
vote-
panties.
Vote for panties.
It's the bit that stood out for me.
If you too want to vote for me and you'll
I am-
get panties.
I am strongly for this campaigin.
Right, you personally.
There's another t-shirt. Vote for me, you get panties. Just Jim's face, 2 thumbs up. That
White
classic,
Peak's best friend.
that classic Obama poster, the red and blue one. Vote for me, you get panties. Oh, Jim's used panties.
I wouldn't.
Not in this fucking heat. It's like 27 degrees
Oh,
today.
no.
Yeah, we are. Look, we're in the studio and we're sweating our bollocks off, and we've only just started.
Literally, if you could see us right now, we're not
This
wearing
episode-
any trousers.
I was gonna
We're not
say,
wearing
It's
any
the
top.
rhino scene from Ace Ventura, right?
Yeah, it is.
We've all been there.
Warm.
We've all been there.
In a rhino? What?
You could call some of them that.
Thick-skinned. He meant thick-skinned.
It's fine. We'll keep
Or do
that
you
in.
mean horny?
We'll keep that in.
Sheeny's been in the elephant scene from Grimsby Brothers instead. That's the problem.
Right.
He knows what I'm on about as well. There's an elephant bukkake in there.
Nice. So we jump back. We jump to the school, and we see that Gorke has made Okuma lunch. So this passion that he's got for Okuma seems to be sort of building and building ever since the magazines came out. But it was the moment that he jumped in and saved the two girls, wasn't it? That Gorky just all of a sudden changed his attitude towards him. Yeah, when he saved them from the stalkers. That's when Gorky somehow, like, I don't know, started fancying him. It's really weird. Although we don't outright see it, that is kind of the case.
All those boy love magazines.
And we find out that there's an underwear thief at large. So somebody is going around the school and stealing not just the men, but the women's as well. Everybody's underwear is going missing.
Well, Jim needs them for his campaign. Next Prime Minister.
Panties for passes.
They decide that they're going to stake out the girls' locker room. And we see IMA and Okuma, and they're outside the girls' locker room. IMA decides that she's going to go in because somebody went in there. I think it was Hyoka went in there and hasn't come out yet. So she goes in looking for her. While she's in there, Anna appears again. This is that bit.
Yep.
If you've watched it, you know exactly what we're coming up to.
Yep. Let's not get too descriptive.
And let's not be talking about coming up to it.
She grabs Okuma, pulls his legs up into her face.
It is literally like the T-100 Terminator. I'm back.
She grabs hold of his zip within her teeth and rips the zip off in her teeth.
That's gotta hurt.
She's after his seal.
Oh.
And then Gorky turns up, interrupts her in the process, so she drops Okuma.
She's sitting on his face, isn't she?
Well, his face is between her legs, and then she just gushes all over him.
We've all been there.
I mean, that's one that I can't say I have.
The floodgates
You're not
open.
doing your job properly then.
Grayson,
Yes, darling.
when was the last time that you got, I was about to say pulled off, probably not the best choice of words,
What would that have to do with it?
pulled into the middle of, like, the street, had your belt ripped off, and then blooming somebody sat on your face and then flooded?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. You heard it here first. It's a Tuesday morning for him.
Wait, isn't today Tuesday?
You're dumb, right?
I'm not wearing any underwear.
So Okuma's just sitting there, and the floodgates have opened on his face, and he's just coated and shocked.
Love juice. For those that didn't get that graphic.
It's just like somebody's chucked a bucket of water in his face. I'm not going to lie.
And Otome is in the bush watching all of this happen and
We've all been
unfold, and she's just she's just in the bush gathering more material for her art. Anna walks away with Gorky. She spits the zipper out as well, doesn't she?
I love the fact that Gorky just turns around and is like, by the way, Gorky, you've made his name really posh all of a sudden in this episode.
All right,
Gorky,
Gorky.
that's the one. Gorky, not
The
Gorky.
way you're saying it sounds like Bukake.
Yeah. Well,
Think that's done on purpose?
maybe. Well, just so she can be like Gorky.
I don't know, but the name fits the character, doesn't it?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, clueless.
So they
What do you think Bukake means?
when it's happened to him, he was clueless. What's going on? Just extra.
See the spooky
just
ghost?
ectoplasm.
Yeah.
Who's the ghost? Did you see the ghost?
There was like 7 spooky ghosts.
It's like a fucking exorcism going on in there. But he is absolutely clueless for that bit, isn't he?
He's clueless throughout this entire thing.
Because he turns around and he's like, why is he on the ground? Why is he all sweaty? I was like, oh, thank goodness. That doesn't go any further than that for a scene.
Yeah, that smells like sweat.
So Okuma recovers, and he realises that IMA's been in the girls' locker room too long and she hasn't come out yet, so he proceeds to follow her. He gets in there, Hyoka's in there, and she's hiding something, and it turns out it's a boy love magazine. And not just any boy love magazine, but it's based on a romance between Gorky and Okuma.
This is Seaweed Girl, isn't it?
And I think it's like edition 6 of the the episode 6 or something of the magazine.
9. This is number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
We all know who's been drawing this magazine. Otome has clearly made a boy love magazine based on these two.
Isn't it called Where's My Banana?
That specific
I think that
mag
specific one
is.
Yeah.
And IMA's well into it as well. She has her own copies, we find out as well. She's into this boy love magazine as well.
We're all into it. We've all seen it.
Are we? Are we?
Yeah.
It's the fact that you shortened it to BL last time, like everyone knew what that meant. I had no fucking clue. I had to wait until you said boy love.
You had no clue, but apparently, just, being flooded It's a day-to-day occurrence.
It's a Tuesday thing.
It's a Tuesday.
We've all been there.
So we finally get to the scene where they capture some of the underwear thieves. And they think they've got them. And then all of a sudden, we get the introduction to James's best friend, White Peak.
He is definitely not my best friend.
The massive perv that is White Peak. And he runs an organisation called Gathered Fabric.
Look, if we're talking about massive pervs,
Yes.
Grayson's definitely the one.
What have I done?
Don't.
Him and his woods porn.
Yeah.
Forgot about wood spawn.
He's the one that's going out
It's
there.
a real thing. I sent you the links to articles about this.
Hold on. If you're into woods porn
As I was
and you
into
masturbate in the woods,
it's a normal thing for a
Wait.
kid growing up in the 90s.
if
to
you have a
find
wank in
woods
the
porn.
woods and you're into woods porn,
Someone's going to back me up on this.
is that lumberjacking it?
You've been waiting on that one for a week, haven't you?
So White Peak
Yes.
says in his announcement that he is working with socks. He says that he's working alongside him. We know this isn't true, but he's adamant that he is working with socks. And then he proceeds to rain down underwear on everybody. I don't know where that's coming from, but he just rains down dirty underwear, by the
We've
way.
all been there.
Dirty underwear.
Well, we get the introduction of this terrorist organisation by a police officer in this episode, isn't it? A police officer gets knocked out and then left on a giant panty mural.
Yeah, at the start of the episode, this cop gets taken down right at the start, and there's just panties left on the floor. Like lots of panties in the shape of a bigger pair of panties.
Is that his soggy calling card?
By the way, that's a
really eccentric calling card.
that's an actual police officer. So I remember we were talking about it in the last episode.
Is it, or is it a security
No,
guard?
that's an actual police officer in that. So there is a difference between the decency squad and the police force.
Have you watched this for a third time?
No. Well, yeah.
To the details of the uniform. Eventually, we get to the scene where Kosuri runs into Okuma. She is being chased by the decency squad. She runs into him, and she uses this technique she has where she can somehow convince guys to do whatever she likes by...
Looking
Mind
innocent?
control?
It's kind of a seductive, innocent approach she has.
Yeah.
And she convinces Okuma to help her get away from the decency squad. So they run down an alleyway, they bump into Hyoka. They manage to convince Hyoka to distract the guards, send them down the wrong way. They do this by promising that they're going to allow the Boy Love magazines in the school. So she requests it, and Okuma's like, yeah, I'm going to make that happen for you if you help us.
How has he got that power, by the way? Like, he's not the
I
person
don't
that's like,
understand.
yeah,
Like,
you're good.
They're trying to eradicate all this
Smart.
smut from the school, yeah. And yet they're going to okay Boy Love magazines. that are
Educational, I guess. I don't know how, but
Educational.
Plot device, I guess.
plot device, I guess, yeah.
Or leaves funny bits in.
So this is the moment when the guards turn up, and they turn around to Hyoka, and one of them specifically says, "Have you seen the scrawny cocksucker and the pink-haired bitch?" So the assumption is that the decency squad can do whatever they like, right? They can swear and do what they like because of the job that they're in.
I
Probably
can
went
accept
on
this.
duty.
Yeah, I can accept this because they're probably having to talk about all of this stuff on their work days.
So if you're a real pervy sort of guy, just join the decency squad. You get away with doing certain stuff at least.
Yeah, this is true. Grayson, you'd be on the decency squad.
Why would I be on the decency squad?
You're a right
He
person.
Apart
is
from
in
being
the woods hiding porn. That cave, that's his.
That's true.
That's
The
his
whack
dad.
cave.
The whack cave.
The whack cave,
Grayson's red room. That's what that is.
where all the walls are white.
It's plaster and you know it.
Oh, it's fucking plaster, right?
It's
Plastered
plastered on
everywhere.
there anyway.
So Hyoka turns around to the guards and she says to them, "Yeah, I saw them. He ran up to me, squeezed my mammary glands, said they weren't big enough, and ran off." Yeah, that's all we've got to say on that, really. That's all she says. It's just an interesting choice of words, I would have said.
The mammary glands.
I guess
I
it
guess you
could-
remember the scientific term to
Yeah.
avoid trouble.
Yeah.
And she is kind of a scientist, isn't she?
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense.
If I put on a fucking lab coat and just decided to be
Just a lab coat
just a lab coat, that happens as well.
made of soggy panties.
No, just a lab coat.
No.
I was just like, I'm a scientist now.
Yeah.
You guys would look at me and go, keep the lab coat on.
Yeah,
but
close
I was about
the
to say, close. Large breeze rolls in.
So,
I'll come like it next week, shall I?
Oh, don't come like anything next week. Cheers.
so
Poor choice of words right there.
Kosari and Okuma end up in the park. Eventually, the guy from the motorbike turns up, who saved Kosari in the first scene, starts giving her this whole thing of like, I thought I was your man. Is that what he's trying to get across?
I guess so, yeah. Like an exclusive thing.
Yeah, and so she changes. This is when her switch gets flipped. And she ends up tasing the guy, turns on Okuma, and starts talking about how much she wants to, like, meet Socks. And he manages to convince her that he is actually a member of Socks, and says that he's going to help her join. We end up with Kosari meeting Ayame, and Ayame is 100% not on board with this idea. She doesn't like Kosari. She knows something's not right with Kosari, and she's just adamant that she doesn't really want her to join. In fact, she says it's such a bad idea that it's almost like getting caught cheating, running away, falling over and tripping up, and landing on your dick.
We've all been there.
You say that. But I'm just trying to imagine how that'd even go. That's gonna.
You run, you fall, and you land on your erect penis.
Trip over your dick and...
Why are you running with your dick? Why are you running with an
In James's Bukkake, he tripped on somebody's dick.
Why are you? Why are you running with an erect penis?
Why are you not?
Because you've just been caught.
It's like the ultimate streamline. You know how like a Concorde used to have its nose pointed down?
Helps with wind resistance when you're running.
Yeah. Yeah.
It shows everyone the direction you're travelling in.
I mean, your finishing time's probably supersonic. So.
Yeah.
The episode ends with Ayame finally convinced enough to let Kosari join. And the finishing touch to that was that she said that Kosari's hair reminded her of a cock.
And it does.
It totally does.
It's a bell end, isn't it?
It's a bell end.
It is.
Like the character.
And that's the end of episode 7.
It's an informative episode.
So we had like a girl gush all over a guy's face. We found out there's boy love magazines, and we met Kosari. That's pretty much the
And
episode.
our villain.
Yeah, we met our villain.
Oh
the
yeah,
police.
White Peak's not really a villain, is he? He's
I
just...
think he's supposed to be like the rival, but
What,
it doesn't really
he's
go
the
in.
fucking hero we deserve.
Well, for the next 6 episodes,
I
he is a
feel
prominent
like
character.
this is it. I feel like they drag him out too much.
Yeah.
For episodes that, like, especially like when you consider the last episode is
He needed
just
to be 2.
pointless. Yeah,
He needed to be 2.
yeah. He's dragged out too much. But we'll get to this.
Yeah, they could have used
I hear
like.
birds chirping.
I hear birds chirping too.
You hear them?
Yeah.
We're not closing this window. We're not.
Literally,
Guys,
I'm melting.
we're already sweating our tits off. We're already in our underwear, so
Speaking of boy love magazines now, this better not get a big enough fan base for that to happen. Someone go through the
OnlyFans.
archives.
if there's a demand for it, we're doing it.
What?
We're not.
OnlyFans, not it.
No.
James fucking perked up.
You did. It's not his first rodeo.
Going into episode 8. Episode 8 opens with Okuma waking up in his flat, and next to him is Kosari. She's just appeared in his bed next to him. But not just Kosari, Anna's there, standing over them with a knife in hand. Turns out she's been there, the entire night?
And a carrot.
She says
by the
hours
way.
and hours, yeah.
She has
Yeah.
a giant carrot in her other hand and then crushes it.
Does she? I didn't notice that.
As soon as he wakes up and sees her stand over him, she crushes the carrot.
So Okuma and Kosari play this off with Kosari saying that she's Okuma's half-sister, and then she says, "Big brother, is this the girl you're always talking about that you've got a crush on?" That brings Anna back down to sort of...
Reality.
No, there's a fucking lightning bolt
A lesser
scene which
level.
goes through her trousers area.
There is. She gets a little tingle in her crotch.
A little.
We've all been there.
But Kosari takes it a little bit too far with her touchy-feeliness with Okuma, and Anna basically says, like, if you get a bit like that, you're going to go bye-bye. Then proceeds to stab a knifed outline of Kosari's body around her, and then Kosari falls through the floor.
Yeah.
And this shape she's cut, Jim?
It's in the exact shape of a penis. Like, cuts out and it's just a penis shape in the floor.
I mean, I didn't register that,
I didn't either.
but we've got a
I
guy
didn't-
here who likes to
Yeah.
sort of analyse to the depth.
By watching
Of an
it 3 or 4
episode.
times.
I like to go in deep.
Not according to the missus. Give me that look.
Okuma gets ready for school, and as he gets to his door and opens his door, Gorky's there. Gorky, sorry, James, you don't want me to posh him up.
He's not a posh character.
Okuma is like, have you come to collect me? Have we got to go to some sort of meeting? And Gorky's like, no, I just missed you.
And I brought you a bento box. He's like, ooh, food.
He's not wigged that Gorky's being a little bit too much,
I
right?
don't think Gorky's twigged onto that. It's probably...
You think he doesn't really know what he's feeling?
He
Yeah.
doesn't. I
don't
think
think
they've
he's
already
got-
mentioned
We've
this
established he's oblivious, don't
Yeah.
we? So,
to everything.
but that doesn't mean Okuma's not. In fact, it's established that Okuma knows more than most about these things.
So he's
Would he
teased.
not have wigged?
So he's teasing, is he?
He's teasing.
Although, to be fair, you're getting free bento boxes.
And there's Jim's line. What are you doing?
It's wafting.
I'm a bit like Anna. Everything's just melting down below at the moment, I'll tell you.
At this moment, we also see that Otome is in the cupboard drawing more boy love magazines based on the scenarios she's witnessing.
You can just hear furious scribbling in the background.
And we cut to the school, and we find out that they've hired a new representative from the Decency Squad who's going to help clear the school of smut. And boy, doesn't she. She goes to the gym and removes fucking everything. Anything from this school that has the slightest moment of
hole.
smut.
The basketball ring
Ping
has a
pong
hole in
balls.
it.
Yeah.
Ping pong balls, because they might be inserted.
We've all seen Allergy.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, respect.
Then we get the bit where she finds Hyoka and her magazines. But there's the moment where she's banning and banning the magazines. So Hyoka says that she's using these magazines for research material, which then is okay. I mean, none of this makes any sense.
None.
But it seems like she's like really easily convinced to unban stuff. All you got to say is like literally give her any reason, and she's like, "Okay, I'll take it off."
It's
the
not a
ban list."
blowjob, it's research.
It's-
Or in Grayson's word.
Oh, how true. We've all been there.
So we cut to socks.
That is just your fucking line, isn't it? We've all been there. Two types of anime fans.
That's
on
my
that one.
line.
So we cut to Socks, and they've come up with a new mission. They want to spread all the lewdness to other schools, not just the school they're in. So Kosuri gets on board, and what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to just stake out the school, right? Kosuri takes it upon herself to go in, to pretend to be a new transfer student, and go in and get a tour of the school. So she goes off and does that, and then we cut back to the scene, the weird scene, where we see the Decency Squad representative come up to Okuma, and she's with Anna, and Anna's looking distressed, shall we say. Clearly needs the toilet. Let's just put it that way. This is them touching upon another fantasy thing that plays out.
Yep.
This is a thing. Is this a thing over here as much as it may be in Japan? Because I've seen other animes that have scenes like this where somebody needs a toilet.
This
And
is
it's
the
supposed to be
pee
erotic.
fetish thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. I don't know.
You don't see it as much here, I don't think, as you would elsewhere.
I don't remember the last time I watched Doctor Who and they were like, need some toilet roll.
You know what this needs?
Piss. So the representative wants to throw out all of the toilet roll in the school because the toilet roll tube can be lubed up and used as a masturbation device. You heard it first.
Kosuri, by the way. I love the fact that Kosuri...
We are in no way endorsing this.
Imagine the paper cuts.
Lubed up.
Well, surely it just goes soggy
Yeah, all of it would.
and then be pointless.
I love the fact that Kosuri is like, oh, I never knew there were so many sexual things in this school.
It's
that we could've
everything
gone
that's
for."
a hole. What do they think lads are?
They ask Okuma's opinion, and Okuma's like, no, there's nothing sexual about toilet roll. Because it has to be said. So she takes it off the ban list.
Not a sentence I'd ever thought I'd hear.
No, there's nothing sexual about toilet roll.
It's not an evil cheese, and it's not a sexual device.
Then, from round the corner, more members of Gathered Fabric come round. They run into Anna, who, martial arts style, kicks them into next week.
Well, we also find out that it's not just one Decency Squad member. She's now got a load of prefects in
All
the school.
the same art style, right? The, guy with
Exactly
the
the
short
same
hair
art
and
style.
glasses. She's got an army of clones.
Lazy drawing.
It's not needed.
It'll
You,
do.
you ain't got to pay someone to draw multiple different faces. It's just pointless.
It'll do. Did its job.
You get the idea.
There's a load of nameless, faceless puppets, basically.
Yes. And as Anna kicks these guys, she comes very close to pissing herself.
Yeah.
She does that whole...
Sorry, what was that?
She's kicking.
You can isolate
No,
that.
just for the people at the back.
Did you like that?
That's just for Grayson's reference.
Sorry, I was walking my goldfish. Can you do that again?
Then we cut back to Kosari. So Kosari didn't do as she was told. We find out that, well, she only tells them that she went in and started hiding magazines around the school that she was going to. She was only supposed to be taking a tour and finding good spots, but she's taken it upon herself to start actually hiding magazines around the school. Then we cut to her with Okuma, and she actually tells him what she did fully. Turns out she infiltrated the student council of this school, got the members to all start infighting.
So she flirted with one, got them to fall in love with them, then moved on to the next one, got them to fall in love with her.
They feuded.
Then, she created a love triangle inside the student council as well.
She did all this in a day, by the way.
I thought it was a couple of days.
Is it a couple of days?
She did
She's only supposed to be going for a one-day tour. But
You know how it turns, don't you? Those school tours.
No.
we've all been there.
We've all been
We've all been there. We've all been there.
So look, Kosari's just a crazy character.
Is she supposed to be this unpredictable thing that'll just throw a spanner in the works of
No,
Socks?
yes,
'Cause
she's supposed to be too much.
doesn't work.
Because we find out that Socks aren't there to hurt anyone, to cause anyone any distress. They're there to educate.
Well, I think it kind of works, actually. Because at this point, you don't know where the line is for Socks.
She's a loose cannon.
Well, you don't know where the line is, but actually, Socks are kind of a middle to lower ground sort of group, aren't they? Really,
Look,
when you think
they're
about
only
it.
targeting one specific school in one specific area of this place. They're not affecting the country as a whole, but yeah, it seems to be that this one area is specifically.
I just mean in the way they're trying to do it. So she says we're trying to educate people, aren't we? Kosari says
That's
that we're
their aim.
trying to educate people. We're not trying to, or we want people to enjoy sex and understand sex and dirty jokes and everything like that.
Have fun.
Have fun. What
Be
we're
a
not trying to
teenager.
do is do exactly what she's done, which is turn each other against each other.
Well, she's causing distress and actually upsetting people.
and turning people away from love and sex and stuff like that, isn't she?
Causing hate rather than
Yeah.
love. So she's crazy. She tells Okuma all of this. He is like, you're nuts. And then she convinces him to not say anything.
Why would you not say anything?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then she takes her sock off, shoves her foot in his face, and says, "Give me a tongue bath."
And here's another fetish.
And he leans in to put her foot in his mouth, and then we cut scene. So the assumption is he did it because
Who is this for?
We've all been there.
Not with Fee, we haven't, no. I draw the line. I'm
Oh,
willing
you
to do
draw that-
a lot of things.
That is a Grayson line drawn
I
right
am
there.
willing to do a lot of things.
I've heard about you a lot of things.
But leave your shoes on.
not just your socks, but your shoes as well.
Your Nike high tops can stay on, thank you very much. Everything else is fine. Take that off.
Cool, thank you.
Let the shoes go back on.
We get to the moment where we see the Decency Squad have gone full crackdown on the school.
That's a good choice.
That's a real choice of words there, Sheeny.
And Anna is getting off on this. Now, look, Anna gets off on...
The wind.
She, she
A
gets
small
off.
gust.
She gets off on this because she's under the belief that Okuma loves anything decent. So when she does stuff to make things decent, it pleases him, which in turn gets her off. But but then she's super lewd with him. So it doesn't make sense. Her reasoning doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I have become a little bit confused about how they were trying to play this character. Because
She's supposed to not understand what she's feeling, is what it's supposed to be.
yeah, but that's not feeling. That's also what she's doing. What she's doing now, she must realise is rude.
she's acting on raw emotion, is what she's doing, isn't she? Not that you get away with doing this stuff in real fucking life,
It's
but
impulse.
it is impulse. Yeah, she feels the attraction, that sexual attraction, and just acts upon it straight away without even hesitating.
Is that because she doesn't realise what?
She doesn't realise it's sexual attraction.
Yeah, that it's lewd.
She thinks it's love.
Yeah, okay. I can see where they're coming from there, that she doesn't understand that actually what she's doing is lewd and it's not love, it's just lust like we've already had before in this anime, but surely at one point somebody would
Cross the line a bit.
Yeah.
Surely Okuma would turn around and go, look, this is actually what you're doing.
Wouldn't you?
They're so loud.
Fuck off, birds.
They're so loud. The episode ends with IMA turning to Okuma and saying that Socks is really up against it now. Like, the Decency Squad are cracking down, everything's going to shit. But she has a plan.
This is going to get saucy.
Saucy? I've already run out of sauce.
We can bottle this, I'm sure, in the future.
Summing Boys Sweat. Limited.
Not limited. It's fucking unlimited.
Unlimited.
Fucking hell.
Fuck bathwater. Right, so we go into episode 9. Episode 9 is IMA's plan.
It's the other salty goodness.
And IMA's plan all revolves around Okuma's pants. They're the key.
Oh, this is where they blooming
Not
hang
the
them
pants,
up, isn't it?
yeah, not the pants as such. The smell of his pants is key. What?
This episode.
So they decide to use his pants as a lure. Now he thinks they're trying to lure more members of gathered fabric. Stumbled there.
How did you struggle that?
I don't know.
Mouthful.
It's the heat. Mouthful.
I had a mouthful then as well.
We cut to
Not a
outside.
triangle, for God's sake.
We cut to outside the school and we see Kosari and Otome have been given the job to hide porn around the grounds. They bet they like half bury porn magazines in the floor.
Well, I'm just looking at the lumberjacker.
And Kosari's a bit miffed at this because she thinks that she's got a role within Socks that she is not suited at.
She literally came into this organisation and she's like, I should be
Number 2.
one of the people in command.
Yeah,
here."
she doesn't like the fact that Okuma is number 2 in this organisation that contains 4 members.
I sort of kind of understand partly from where she's coming from because he's not exactly the most women into it member, is he?
I think this is it because she's seen him do nothing but moan and complain about the plans and things like that. She doesn't think he's as invested as she is, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's why she's moaning and complaining that much. And also, well, we also know it's because of the 2 main protagonists really love each other. To be honest, they like each other, don't they?
Oh, it wasn't me that brought it up this time.
It wasn't, no. Someone else did.
Somebody's got to bring some culture to this
It only
series.
took 20-odd episodes.
We cut back to Okuma, and eventually we see the thief come in to steal his underwear. They come in, they grab his underwear, inhale it a little bit, and then give it a little lick as well.
Oh,
Yep.
who does this? Who does this?
Well, we'll tell you in a second, Grayson, for the reveal. And you'll find out next week.
I've been on Reddit. I know people do it, but why?
Why are you searching for that on Reddit? Like, my question is not that there's an audience for this.
I'm going to give you a tip. Do you use Reddit?
No.
All right. Well, go to Reddit, the website, and in the search bar where you put the thing you want to search for, the page, the group, put in Rand NSFW. You'll get a random not safe for work page. There you go.
That's for everyone, by the way.
For everyone. Yeah, go have fun. You'll find some fantastically funny shit, and you'll find some stuff you didn't want to know. Everyone's a winner.
So the person licking the underwear is...
We haven't all been there.
Is Anna. No surprise there.
The Bloodhound. She sniffed out those tiny whiteys from a mile away.
Fuck's sake.
She grabs Okuma, gets him in the walls of Jericho. That's a wrestling move for those who don't know. Then proceeds to sit on his face. The decency lady is standing there, by the way, the whole time. He asks the decency lady, are you not going to do anything about this? This is lewd. She's like, my number 1 priority is to always protect Anna and allow her to do whatever she wants.
Why is this been allowed? Why is this the, like...
This is a licky bumhole position.
He wasn't on about the position.
I wasn't on about the positioning. I was on about
It's a
the...
perfectly fine position. We've all been there.
So,
Either end of this, we've all been there.
Yeah, the lewdness squad, I think, at this point. I'm part of the decency squad in this group.
So, as this is all happening, 2 random girls who are members of Gathered Fabric run in, steal Okuma's underwear from Anna, and jump out the window and run off. So Anna decides she's going to go chasing after the underwear. So she just leaves Okuma and decides she wants to chase the underwear.
Doesn't care that's gathered fabric. The first thing she says is, "Give me back that underwear."
Her priorities are in order, apparently.
So we go back to the plan and we find out that the main goal of the plan was all along.
The forbidden switch is where the ropes come down and they tie him up. She pushes it in the basement,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then the ropes come down and tie up
Kosari.
our lead dude,
Is it
yeah.
Kosari?
And then he tickles his feet or tickles her
That's the
feet.
one. Yeah, that's for the So that's
With the
for
with the
the
French
drawing of. I forgot the drawing girl's name.
Yeah.
Otome.
Otome, yeah. She gets. So I think they go back and they're like, "Oh, Kosari, you did." I'm trying to make sure now. A penis head one. I can't remember it now.
Goes to
Kosari, yeah.
The dickhead.
Gets told by IMA, isn't it? It's the leader of Socks.
IMA.
IMA. I was right. That's right. I was confused about whether I was getting the right names there. But IMA sort of comes in and says, "We struck a blow for Socks," basically. And she's like,
Well, no, they got Anna.
well, yeah, they got Anna off their
case.
case. But what I was getting at is that she went, "Well, actually, I didn't do anything." Kosari, doesn't she? She's like, "Yeah, you did. You were burying the mags round porn around the school in the woods. But you, Otome, was just busy drawing, and so you must be punished for this."
And then the waiter cafe guy brings down the forbidden button.
The forbidden button, which then brings
Ties
out
her up
the...
and then she tickles her.
That's right.
Another fetish.
Just another scene we didn't need.
Yep. Oh, it's a long one as well.
It is a long scene as well.
Oh, the scene. Yeah, that's long too.
And then we go back to the plan and we find out, the plan was to distract Anna. She was a problem that they needed to get rid of. So the way they're going to get rid of her is Okuma's underwear.
Well, she had to test the theory.
It's just like catnip.
I
To
guess
this-
it's
to
the
this
scent.
bird.
Anna can smell him out.
That's not right.
She's got his scent. I mean, to be fair, if they're
She's a
looking for our scent...
velociraptor of fucking lewd girls.
I mean, if they're looking for our scent, all they got to do is open the window today, to be fair.
No one wants to be in this room right now.
Believe
I
me,
don't want to be in this room right now.
Our mics certainly don't want to be in this room right now.
So we get them doing the same thing again. They use panties as a lure again, and Okuma is hiding out. Somebody breaks into the room. He German suplexes them, which is from behind, and then
Is that another wrestling move?
Yeah, he German suplexes them. Then the girl slips on the sparkly juice on the floor again.
We've all been there.
That's everywhere. And we see...
Two types of anime fans.
Those wooden floors.
We cut to see Anna in the corner with Okuma's pants again, and she's just inhaling them.
Like a psychopath.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's psychopath anymore. I think even psychopaths would walk in and go, "Not for me, thank you very much," and walk back out.
Then we get the meeting between Hyoka and Kosari. And Hyoka, she sizes her up. She tries to get a read on Kosari. It's a weird moment, but she tries to get a read on her. Then we get the moment when Okuma is hiding in the locker room with the lights off. Somebody comes into the room. He trips them up, pulls their legs wide open, and gives them what he calls an electric massage with his foot between their crotch.
Oh,
His dad's
yeah,
secret move.
The electric massage. Turns out it's the decency lady.
Lady in...
But
Inverted
he
commas.
turns around
Not
and
a
goes,
lady.
"What I felt between my toes was not a lady."
We've all been there.
We've all been there. Those German nightclubs.
There's Thailand nightclubs.
Turns out that the decency lady is a decency guy, and he's been basically brainwashed to just pretend to be a female in case he fell for Anna.
Yeah.
So he's got to sort of become this female robotic character because the father didn't want him catching the feels.
And I'm almost certain Okuma's like, "This is not okay." He does turn around to her and is like, "This is not okay, by the way. What you're doing is not okay."
No. And at this moment, Anna walks in, and the way that Okuma manages to escape is he removes his pants and throws them at her so that she takes the bait.
Never heard pants being called bait before. That's a first.
It's a first for everything.
So he's naked. Then we jump to Kosari again, and it turns out she gets Hyoka to find and send gathered fabric members to Okuma's location. So instead of allowing the lure to just do its thing, she's again butted in to try and do something that she thinks is right. This is when IMA turns around to Kosuri and is like, look, we don't destroy anything. We don't injure people. We're not here for that. Again, she's like, we're here to... How many times is she going to let Kosuri off at this point? Like, this is, what, the third, fourth time she's gone off on her own?
Second. It's only the second time that she's seen a problem. Because they weren't... she wasn't told about the first one.
No, yeah, she's not aware of that love triangle thing that... Because Okuma didn't tell her
Well, she says she's a problem. Then she does the... Fucks the plan up.
Yep.
And then this one is fucking the plan up.
Again, it ends with them receiving a message from White Peak saying that he wants to meet. And we go into episode 10. Episode 10 is when they meet White Peak for the first time in person. This guy's... his dick is just poking out from the underwear. So, look, he's coated from head to toe in wet, soggy panties.
Old panties.
And
as well.
Used. That's why it's not sweat.
His dick's just poking out.
Is it? Because
Yes,
later on
because
his dick's a taser.
Yes, because they comment and say he's letting his dink dangle.
Okay. So where does the taser come from?
Look, I don't know. This is
amazing
like,
what you can do with a bit of duct tape.
they activate his trap card.
Activate his trap card.
So,
I mean, this guy is...
Sword of revealing light, is it?
so eventually, the conversation turns to the fact that he's disgusted that they choose to wear clean underwear on their faces and that they should wear used ones because here we go. He loves the rotting oyster smell.
Is that a direct quote?
A direct quote.
I can't say I've
Why the fuck would I write that down if that was not said in that?
Personal fantasy.
That is what. Yeah, so he likes
right.
Yeah.
We're all, I say all heterosexual men. We all like women. One of us isn't heterosexual. We all like women. Have we ever been attracted to a rotting oyster smell? Have you ever walked into a girl's room and gone, you know what?
I don't know why we
there's a laundry basket right here.
No.
This is my thing.
No, I don't even like to eat fish.
No, it's very true. I'm having to cook something separate because you want fucking chicken. Jim's staying silent. I'm going to take that as a yes.
He's quite partial to a garlic oyster.
Those French girls, I get you.
What the fuck was that, Shimi? That's staying in. That's what that is.
The worst French laugh ever. The worst ever. It's like Mr. Bean doing a French impression.
So,
moving on.
The conversation with White Peak doesn't go to plan. Eventually, he just leaves. He gets on a panty balloon and he flies away.
Can we just talk about the glass of wine that he has with the pants in?
I don't want to.
With used pants.
Used pants in a glass of wine.
Like an ice cube.
Is he like the demented brother of Pegasus?
Yeah, I was thinking this.
Or he's Pegasus after he's lost to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. After he's lost his company, everything's
Yu-Gi-Oh's
gone
panties,
down.
is that what we're saying?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't wear no panties. He can't.
He can't
when he
because
changes,
he changes.
When he changes, his dick might change.
What?
I don't know.
Somebody's
What happened to you?
He gets like 2 foot taller, so...
Sorry.
Well, would you not be disappointed if you could transform, but your dick stayed the small size?
No, I've always been a tripod. People are always putting cameras on my head.
You got a GoPro on there.
Yeah.
Nothing about you.
So you can see the adventure. Whenever I unzip.
We had a break.
So we cut to the next day, and Okuma and Gorke are on the bus. And the only reason they're on the bus...
What is it with
He's
you
gone posh
today?
again.
He's gone posh again.
Gorke?
Yeah, the demented Frenchman.
So, look, they're on the bus because the monorail has mysteriously broken down.
Ooh, mysterious.
Then the bus gets hijacked. Hijacked by gathered fabric.
Okay, I love some of these scenes from the buses.
I love one of these scenes.
So
Is it the scientist one?
No, it's the other one.
with Gorky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck me, that was funny as shit.
So, gathered fabric are holding everyone hostage. They've got guns, and they're holding everyone hostage on the buses 42 hijacked buses, to be precise, because they want to steal everyone's underwear.
That's a lot
perfect
of...
opportunity to say 69 hijacked buses, and they didn't take it.
Oh, damn, they did.
That's 42's a lot, as is.
I was about to say, that's a
You've
lot
got
of...
42 dedicated members of Gathered Fabric. Socks has an organisation of 4.
Yeah.
Gathered Fabric has 42 people willing to heist a bus
For pants.
because of their love of pants.
Yeah.
I think that says more about this society than it does anything else, to be honest.
All of our characters are on the bus.
Can you
Or on
imagine
a-
this as a Batman villain? Not asking for the jewelry. Batman just turned up, what's going on? Sorry, what's going on?
What the fuck was that as well?
That's my best Batman.
Where are they? Where are the pants?
Why do you want to undress me?
So we find out that all the characters are all on buses throughout the city.
I was going to do it with Rachel, but I stopped halfway through because I knew I was just going to absolutely fuck it up, basically.
So we see Hyoka's on one of the buses. She gives 0 fucks to this guy who's holding up the bus. In fact, when threatened with the gun, she turns around and says, "Why are you threatening me with a fake gun?"
A toy gun.
Toy gun, yeah.
Yeah, so she, just from observation, realises by the weight and everything else about the gun, it's
And the
not real.
flashing on the inside of the barrel from where it's
Yeah.
been moulded. It's very specific.
She saves the day, because by pointing out that the gun's fake, it makes all the other people on the bus jump the Gathered Fabric member. She saves the bus.
I love the fact that that woman comes up to him and is like, "Thank you so much for saving us." And she's like, "I'm a scientist." And that's it.
Then we see that Anna is on her own separate bus with the representative from the Decency Squad, and she's talking about the fact she's ignoring the hijacker, and she's focusing on the fact that she's getting withdrawal symptoms from Okuma's pants.
I don't... Look, what can I say about that?
There's nothing else to say about her anymore, is there?
So the hijacker interrupts her, and because the hijacker interrupts Anna and her reminiscing of the pants, Anna kicks the living shit out of the hijacker. She saves the day for she says, for love. Does she kick them through the windscreen?
Yes.
Yeah, saves the day. We cut back to Okuma's bus, and
The best bus.
the hijacker points out that Okuma smells different from everybody else. Turns out he's got every single piece of underwear that he owns with him in a bag because he can't leave them in his apartment because Anna will steal them.
We all have this problem.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
And I believe Gorky specifically says that he understands why Okuma's doing that. He accepts him.
Yeah, he accepts him.
him for who he is.
I've
Since
literally
you shared
just...
your secret,
I've
I will
literally
share
just
mine.
twigged.
He stands up, takes off his clothes, and underneath, Gorky is wearing women's underwear.
We've all been there.
A thong and a bra.
We've all been there.
And this makes everybody throw up on the bus. And the hijacker throws up and loses control of the bus.
Look, no shaming here, but probably should have got a larger set of underwear. I'm not going to lie.
It's the bra that's way
It's
too
the bra.
small.
Where's he got this from?
I mean,
Is that your problem?
Well,
Is that your problem with this?
it's just not a good fit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I get what you mean. If you're going to go for it, you got to get the right blooming bra size at least.
So everyone meets up and they discuss the fact that, or Socks meets up and discusses the fact that they need to catch White Peak because if they take down the leader, the rest shall follow. So we've got 39 buses that are still being hijacked. So their buses are the only ones that have been saved. None of the other buses managed to do it, but slowly but surely they're being taken back because the Decency Squad or the police have hired Hyoka.
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Decency Squad and police.
They've hired Hyoka to drive alongside the buses, use binoculars to see if she can see if they're using a real gun or not, so that then they can take down the Gathered Fabric members.
And apparently only 2, is it? Or one of them has a real gun at the moment? I think they're almost...
I don't
pay
know
that
if
much attention.
I don't know if any of them have in the end, because not even White Peak does in the end. We cut to the government. The first time we see the government properly, there's this room of...
Can we put air quotes, the government?
no.
And they talk about the fact that they need to deal with this Gathered Fabric problem, and then they start talking about they need to use the panty method because that seems to lure the members out.
The panty method.
And I believe they're talking about the fact that they probably need to use white panties, and the government leader's like, find someone with white panties, and they're like, we've got nobody working here with white panties. It's just a weird scene.
And we got 3 that are wearing leather panties. I'm almost certain it's like they talk about the
Leather?
fact that they talk about like there's
And they say, don't they say, like, one of them has none?
yeah, one of them has none.
Eventually, Okuma manages to get onto the bus that White Peak is on. They manage to track him down, and Okuma gets on this bus. They're fighting, and then White Peak gets this humongous erection, which gives him a power boost.
What?
He gets the best of Okuma, and just as he's about to win, Blue Snow turns up, or Ayame turns up. They manage to capture White Peak in the end. Or so they think. So we get Ayame standing there. The bus is surrounded by the police and the decency squad. She shouts out that she wants to negotiate with the police for White Peak. She'll give White Peak over if the police will allow her to do... I don't necessarily know what she was about to ask for, because the episode ends with Kosuri pushing Ayame out of the bus window.
Yeah, through the window.
Turns out she wants to join Gathered Fabric.
Because apparently they're much more aligned with what she thinks
She wants.
Yeah.
Extremists.
So we
Not
get this
extremists.
shock betrayal. Do we want to call it a shock
Are
betrayal?
we really calling it a
It's
shock?
not a shock. It's not a shock.
The
Because
shock
she's
comes
been...
in the next episode.
She's been unhappy the last 2 episodes. The shock. So we move into episode 11.
Well, she's out of the bus now, isn't she? She's running away.
Ayame,
Blue Snow
yeah.
is running away and is being chased by the police. They have basically become the main target now.
Yeah, so
really?
the police completely ignore the fact that White... Well, they don't completely ignore, but they pretty much give up on the fact that White Peak is literally there in front of them.
I think it's a bit of 50-50. So they're like, oh, we've got the opportunity to take down Blue Snow. Let's do it right now. Because she's been a lot of their problem over the time, isn't it? So they sort of go after her, and then they're like, oh, we'll deal with this guy later.
So White Peak takes he continues to hijack the bus. And he takes every single bus to the high school. That's his goal, is...
How bloody convenient that it's the same high school that the entire show's been based around.
And he uses... the way he stops the government from coming in and taking him down is he threatens to send pictures of his hostages with panties on their heads.
And that will ruin their reputation and their careers forever with all the kids, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah.
Look, I have one problem with this. Look.
Just one?
No, I mean it's in like the planning of this, right? Why would you go to a school? Wouldn't you go to a, I don't know, underwear shop? Like go to your Primark or something? You know.
He's targeting the next generation.
Yeah, but still, take them to this place. Then you've got an unlimited supply.
Yeah, but he doesn't want fresh pants.
No, but then
He already has the pants at the school, though, doesn't he? Because he makes them
He has a
change
sys-
every hour or something, so he can shower himself.
We'll get to that. Otome is in the school. She's having.
I mean, he could just come into this room. He'd have an unlimited supply of used
guarantee
pants.
these would stick first time every time. We see that Otome is in the school as well. She's absolutely loving it because she's getting loads of material that she can draw with. We see Ayame talking to Okuma. They end up meeting up, and she talks about the fact that they're in a dire situation now because Socks just doesn't have the numbers that Gather Fabric do, which is obvious. We've just established.
Yeah, they got like 42 members or something.
just to
at least.
hijack a bus, and not just that now, but because Kosuri has joined them, they now have access to actual weapons.
Okay, there's a leap of logic here as well. If they now know that almost all those buses haven't got weapons on, but they still allow them all to go to the school, like why
because they've had to take them down one by one because they can't be sure that they're not got weapons.
No, but I'm almost certain they were making their way through. They weren't actually taking over buses, were they? But still, all 42 got to the school.
No, I don't think they don't tell you how many buses got to the school.
There was a lot of fucking buses.
There's a lot there, but they never tell you how many they managed to take down.
It just doesn't seem like they take.
They're not that detailed. They're not going to give you that information.
Look, I want the exact planning. I want the exact knowledge of what's going on in this.
Hyoka comes up with the idea. Oh, by the way, Hyoka has joined Socks. Or well, not joined, but she seems to be there with Socks now.
She's joined Socks. She just hasn't said it.
Yeah, so she's
been with them probably since the park incident.
I think she knows. Does she not?
She's got to know.
Yeah. She's got to know. She decides that they need to use Anna and her superhuman abilities to take down gathered fabric.
So, the old-fashioned team-up. It is.
Then we get the moment with Kosari and White Peak where she's talking about what's the next move after this. Now, this is when we find out White Peak has no interest whatsoever in doing anything other than panties.
This is his final plan. This is his end game right here.
He had no other. He's only interested in panties.
He literally says, like,
We're
when
in
he
the
gets
end game
asked,
now.
what's his next move by Dickhead Girl? He's like, there isn't one. We're going to get arrested. I'm just going to enjoy this for as long as possible.
Yeah, this is it. And this is when we see that he's making each of the girls in the school and boys.
And boys. Yep. I think.
But boys
Yeah.
don't wear panties. Well,
Some do. Jim.
some do. And he's getting them to systematically wear it for a few hours, take it off, and then, I don't know, on the hour every hour, he gets rained down on by new ruined panties.
Anyone notice the little bag they were putting him in the net had like a reader for like
Yeah,
moistness,
for-
freshness,
yeah.
and something else? I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Why have they got that technology? What
very
is that
specific.
net? It's a net technology as well. Like, who's decided that we need a moistness net? That's literally something that's been created.
Could come in handy, I suppose.
For what?
This situation.
In a world that's stopping smut.
I almost lifted up
In
my
a
shirt
world.
then and went, this situation.
So,
Big Jersey Shore fan.
Kosari finally gets the realization that maybe she shouldn't have left socks. Maybe socks were the better choice. She tases White Peak in the dick.
What is this?
It doesn't work because his dick is too moist to be shocked.
Got a moisture barrier.
His body has a surrounding layer of wetness, I think it is, isn't it?
Oh, it's not right.
You know, like a pork pie has like the jelly.
No.
The
No.
Jim's going to be halfway through a pork pie tomorrow and he's going to look at it and go, you know what?
What, I'm going to tase this?
It's going to be Jim and the apple pie all over again.
Don't come up with fake situations for me.
From American Pie. It's just a coincidence that he's called Jim, I'm sure.
Coincidence, yes.
So we cut back to the government, and it turns out they don't want to really do anything about what's going on at the minute.
Because this is a great advantage. They can take advantage of this and show the entire country that, you know,
It's giving
smut
them
is
all,
causing this, yeah.
It's giving every organisation that has any association with smut a bad name for itself. Then we cut to Otome, and she's come up with a plan to escape the room that her and the other girls are in because there's art supplies in that room. So
No one's fallen for this ever in a million years.
she makes a 3D picture of everyone in the room on the floor.
Depends on how invested I am in this whole panty raid
She
thing.
does it out of watercolour.
Yeah, and
Yes,
it makes it
paints and
3D.
To a
Pastels.
lifelike
3D.
representation
Well,
from
it-
a perfect angle for someone standing at a very specific spot
Over.
in the doorway. And only from one angle or it won't work.
Well, it tricks the guards. They think that the girls are still in the room and they're not. They've escaped. She makes fake panties as well with paper.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit. But they smell like real panties. Did anyone notice this?
Yeah.
'Cause
What did they do? They must have
They start
rubbed them.
smelling them, yeah. They
Yeah.
start smelling like they're not real, but they do smell real.
Don't they put, like,
Where did that paper
perfume
go?
on stuff like
No,
that?
James.
Nope.
No.
No.
Look, I'm
There's
trying to
no,
excuse it,
There's
please.
no perfume that smells like rotten oysters.
Then we cut to Anna and she's in the shower and there's lots of juice flowing again.
She's
Must be a
in
cold
the
shower.
She's in the shower and still it won't disappear.
Anatomy with Jim.
And then we cut back to Kosari and she's tied up on the couch in the office, or it must be like the principal's office of the school. Anna then turns up because she was approached in the shower by Ayame. How did she convince her again?
No, I thought it was
Yeah, no. Oh,
Okuma.
yeah, no, it is Okuma, yeah, and he's scrubbing himself to try and hide his scent. And he convinces Anna to join up with them because, for the greater good.
The greater good.
And everything else like that. Anna turns up, starts kicking the living shit out of all of the gathered fabric members that are in this room.
It's the combo that we've been waiting to see, isn't it, really?
It's a constant scrubbing between scenes.
It is. Well, Okuma uses Anna's, her lust, and he also, I believe he bribes her with underwear, saying that he will get her Okuma's underwear if she joins up with them.
Unlimited underwear, I believe it said.
Unlimited power. This show's not right.
Then we get the moment when they...
Like, we're struggling. We're struggling to actually, like...
There's no story as such.
That's not a story there.
There's a plot. It's just...
There's a plot.
Then we get to the bit where they're trying to take down White Peak. This guy's strapped a taser to his dick.
We've all been there.
And he's whipping it around as well. Like,
And he's... waving it about...
It's
Everyone's
just a
trying to attack
Pikachu
him.
cosplay, that's all.
a reverse Pikachu.
Then they're like, look, this guy must have a weak spot. And they decide that his nipples must be a weak spot.
Oh, God, I forgot about this.
So
the magic
So
trick.
they attack his nipples.
By throwing porno cards at them.
Yeah.
And they get stuck in his
And they
nipple.
get stuck
with a
in
little
his
paper cut.
nipples. Yeah.
Yep. And eventually it leads to Anna kicking him out of the window to the police waiting below.
I thought onto the top of a bus, isn't it? Like
Yeah, he
smashes
smashes on top of a car. He's fine.
Yeah, completely fine.
Because he's got that bouncy moisture level.
They then turn to Kosuri. Kosuri apologizes. They forgive her instantly.
I wouldn't. Why would you forgive that person for that? You've got no real emotional attachment to this girl.
Yeah. And then we get IMA doing an announcement. And she makes an announcement on behalf of Socks. She does the whole thing where she just expresses the fact that like lewdness should be a thing. And
Look, there's a story here which they sort of go, oh yeah, we're supposed to be telling a story. So they go back to the story right here. And I like the fact that they're like, cut the feed. The government are like, cut the feed to all of the news outlets. And they're like, no, one's still playing it.
one channel, and it turns out the bloke who owns the channel is one of the leaders of one of the other perverted organisations. It ends with her signing off with a go fuck yourself, and then her and Okuma fly away again on their hot air balloon thing. And they say, the episode ends with them saying, or he says, we're just perverts in love.
Yeah, and they both look at each other like, yeah, we are. And it's like, finally, romance.
Finally.
Why?
But then we get the shit show that is episode
Oh,
12.
fuck me. Do
The
we want to
OVA
talk about it?
episode.
It's a reverse OVA.
It is.
Episode 12 has no hold
Context.
to
There's
anything
no
else.
impact.
There's no context. There's no actual...
Oh, I thought it was going somewhere. So it opens with them getting an invite at the coffee shop from what they think is Sophia, Anna's mum. And you think, oh God, they've like been discovered or something. And you think, oh fuck, this is going to go somewhere.
You think this is going... Well, I feel like this is leading up to a second series.
Yeah.
This episode is... Right, this is your... there's going to be another series, and this is where we're going to go with it. But they haven't done another series of it, and there's no plans to do another series. So it's just
It's a weird episode.
strange placement.
It is.
Isn't it?
So they get invited to a place called Nukami, or Nukami. Nukami was one of the seediest places in Japan. Apparently there was a lot of whorehouses and all sorts of things like that, and lots going on, lots of bars, restaurants, just a good time place.
He looked at me dead in
He
the
did.
eyes.
He
for
did.
that as well.
I saw.
He literally stared me straight in the eyes and was
It's
just
a
like,
good
good time.
And because they're going to this place, Okuma pulls out of the cupboard a wheel that his dad once gave him in the hopes that one day he would end up in Nukami. And if he did, he must take this wheel. Now this place has become the purest city. It's not a city, it's not a town, it's not nothing. It's a building.
And no one's there.
It's an abandoned place that has one building that has become this pure spa meant for like purifying your soul of lewdness and everything like that. A health resort. They get there and the entire resort is empty. Nobody's there.
The entire town's empty.
I was going to say, this place looks abandoned, right?
It looks derelict.
Yeah.
It's not just abandoned, it's derelict.
Yeah,
like it's falling apart, everything's
Yeah.
moved and broken, and holes in ceilings.
And that's the healthiest place. Apparently it's the cleanest place in Japan. That's because there's no one there.
There's no one fucking there to loot it up.
Then Gorky turns up. He's been invited as well. Anna turns up. She's been invited. This is when you know something's not right. And again, you're still like, oh, the story must be going somewhere.
And then Anna's mother turns up.
Yeah, well, they all decide they're going to go for a bath first.
Right, well, we knew this was coming. This happens in almost every single anime. There's always a bath scene.
All the girls get in the bath except for one. She's not there, and they don't know where she is and why she's taking so long. cut to Okuma. He's in the bath.
Isn't
the
it
door opens
is it
and he
a-
believes it's Gorky. It's not a Gorky. It's Anna. And she gets in the bath with him. Then Gorky turns up.
Proceeds to drown him.
She sits on his face underwater.
We've all been there. Give me that look. We've all been there.
Have we?
Then
What
we
happens in St. James's stays in St. James's.
we get
I mean, to be fair, we have the lifeguard right here.
then
Lifeguard.
then Sophia. We get a scream, and everyone stops what they're doing. Anna stops suffocating Okuma underwater, and they all go rushing out to find out where the scream came from.
Doesn't
Yes.
Gorky go, oh, where did you come from?
Yes, yeah, oblivious as always. And we find out the scream came from Sophia, Anna's mum. She's been attacked and drugged by this fat guy dressed in black. Find out this guy is called Base Black, and he is covered from head to toe, a bit like White Peak, but in black underwear.
He's the reverse.
Yeah. Isn't
The
part
anti-White Peak.
Isn't
The
he part
anti-white
of...
peak. Well, yeah, he's the base. So
Isn't
the opposite
he-
of a peak.
Isn't he...
Yes.
And he's black instead of white.
Isn't he
He's the
part of
opposite.
another terrorist organisation?
No,
think
no,
he
we
used to be.
We find out what he's about at the end. But the next bit is that he leaves, and everyone discovers that their clothes have been stolen, and all that's been left is black underwear for each of them.
And they all get into it.
We've all been there.
Then we get IMA gets a bit shy round Okuma at this point as well. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
'cause
though
she's
she's
gotta
literally
get in
sitting her in
under
a towel and
Well,
everything.
literally
Bits.
the first episode, she's naked as the day she was born.
Yeah,
But-
a little weird.
the two of them end up running back into Base Black. He notices that Okuma's got the wheel, and he's like, "Oh my god, you've got the key.
You
the
brought
key,
it with you."
The key to top-notch porn."
Top notch porn.
They can't say top notch. Did they actually say top notch?
That might be my interpretation.
Top quality.
They end up challenging Base Black, and he challenges them to a game of rock, paper, scissors until they're nude. So every round you lose, you have to remove an article of clothing.
Strip, rock, paper, scissors.
Unfortunately, he's got like 600 articles of clothing on.
Yeah, he's got a lot of panties. He loses the first game, and he peels the black underwear from himself.
This 5-minute scene of him peeling it off.
Flats it on the floor.
Oh, it does make a
I
splash.
just
And
sort
the
of goes,
fact that he peels the nipple one off
Yeah.
as well, so he exposes his nipple.
know that
And I
noise?
believe they say, why did you pick that one to start with?
Yeah. It's that noise when you're coming out of the swimming baths and you take your trunks off.
Yeah,
That's
it's
that noise.
It's like the...
Yeah. Oh, that was... Oh, no.
But
I
they
did
don't-
not like that in my headphones.
They don't drag this out because Gorky steps up, removes his clothes. He's wearing the underwear again, the bra. That makes Base Black throw up like it did the people on the bus.
No, it's the fact that he's like, close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes, because...
Okuma does because he knows what's coming.
yeah.
Then Okuma seizes the chance, grabs the bag that the wheel is in, and runs off. Him and IMA are running through the woods. They end up bumping into Hyoka, who leads them to a cable car because they're trying to find this location that they're supposed to access, and they seem to know where they're going.
Isn't it Hyoka's there because she's like...
She's
there's,
catching
more
more
aphids.
bugs. Yeah, well,
isn't
more
it?
bugs so that she can watch them meld. They set off on this cable car, and all of a sudden, they get attacked. Who thought this was Base Black?
Yeah.
I thought this was Base
Yep.
Black that was attacking them.
Yep.
Turns out that Anna is free climbing the
Cable car.
cable of the cable
She's Monkey
car.
Jim in the cable car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She leaps into the cable car, comes all over Okuma's face.
Yeah.
Lands on his shoulders. we should
IME
say.
sees this as well, doesn't she?
With his face in her crotch.
IME
Yep.
finally sees what he's been dealing with for like the last 8 episodes.
Releases the glistening fluid all over him, and then falls out of the cable car into the...
Yeah, the floor falls
woods
out.
below. Yeah, the whole cable car floor gives out.
I'm kind of disappointed. There's no combo in this one. There's no combo. Where's my combo? Get your combo.
They get to the end destination, and they're walking through this abandoned building, and Okuma spots a message from his father scrawled onto a rock, like a stone tablet carving. They end up finding this pristine mannequin in the middle of all the
Ruined art.
Yeah, the
There's a lot of
destruction.
ruined art, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like,
all the risque
naked statues and
statues
stuff
are all
like that.
broken. They find this mannequin that is untouched. How is this maintained being untouched from the Decency Squad? Or do you reckon
Yeah.
that was put in after they'd already been through?
After. Yeah.
Probably after.
Yeah. He puts the wheel in this Indiana Jones-esque style scene that we get.
Yeah. Fucking.
They
Tomb
can't
Raider.
turn the wheel until all the other members of SOX turn up.
Yeah, because apparently it's too stiff and they need a group effort to turn this thing.
We've all been there.
I'll do it. I waited for it to say.
No, I was just looking at you both.
They end up opening up this chamber, a chamber full of erotic material.
It's mannequins.
It's art and statues and
Yeah.
paintings and move on.
And they're like, oh, look at this.
It's boring.
Boring.
I was expecting like mountains and mountains of porn and DVDs and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the socks message. Is that it's just a part of everyday life,
Yeah.
and this is kind
It's
of
like Renaissance
yeah.
stuff. That's literally what it is. So
It's like those mannequins you see in the
So
clothing
is
stores.
this, reckon
that are
this is socks maturing?
yeah, maybe
Like the
maybe
the
Shane
message of the show
is showing
maturing.
a maturity to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, saying that it's an everyday thing anyway. Like
Yeah, not everything that naked is porn.
yeah.
But I think they say the world's not ready for this yet, so we're going to have to
Well,
close it back
standing
up.
over them watching is Base Black, and it turns out he knows Okuma anyway, and he's actually, or was part of, the organisation that Okuma's dad was part of, and he was friends with Okuma's dad.
And he realised after seeing what was on the telly that his son was part of it,
Yeah.
part of SOX, so he got in contact
It's like a
with them,
proud
yeah.
uncle.
He is literally like the creepy
No, you
proud
can't bring
uncle.
uncles into this. That's not right. It's not
We're
right.
using creepy as well. Creepy proud uncle.
It ends with Sox deciding that the world is not ready for this risque art. So they seal it back away for now. And then as they're leaving, the cable car breaks and the whole thing collapses. And they're like, well, it's going to remain untouched for a long time now.
Didn't
'cause
they
nobody
break
can-
it on
I'm
purpose?
going to say,
Yeah.
wasn't it Robot Woman that had been brainwashed?
Yeah.
Didn't she do it?
Yes. They break it and they're like, well, it's going to be untouched for a long time now. And that's how it ends.
But that's such a weird placed episode. That episode should have really come in around
It's so
episode 6
jarring.
and 7.
It shouldn't have existed.
It's a stupid episode.
It shouldn't have existed.
It should have been an OVA.
No, 6 and 7. That's where that should have been.
No, just an OVA. Do your 12 and then add that on as like a bonus episode. You don't need it. You didn't need the story of them being summoned there either. You could have just got them going to a resort.
Yeah, but I think that's where you're trying to get the thing that guy's going to be part of there.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think if there'd been a second season, then this guy would have been in it a bit more.
Well,
There'd have been a
why
lot
wasn't
more.
this a teaser for the second season then?
Dunno.
Here's-
I think it is.
It might be, but it
and it's
doesn't,
just done massively early.
doesn't look like
No,
they're going
I
to do
just
one
think
yet.
it doesn't look like there's one plan either. So,
So we've finished Shimonita. What's everyone's final thoughts?
I mean, I think I'll let Grayson go first on this one.
It wasn't bad.
Right?
It's not bad. There's humor in this goes a long way. It knows what it is. And I think it does High School of the Dead much better than High School of the Dead.
Apart
It's-
from that last episode,
Yeah, which is
your
very
11
jarring.
episodes are.
You laugh every single one
I was
of
going
them.
to say
There's a giggle.
they keep to that theme. The one-liners in this make this what it is as well. IMA's one-liners, they're fucking brilliant. And
Yeah.
the running theme that they just stick with, it's. I mean, sometimes you're like, oh my god, but
It gets a bit closer to the knuckle.
I will say that I started this anime in the first episode and I was like, oh god, this is lewd as hell.
It took
and
me about
was
4
cringy.
episodes.
No, but the thing is, like, the second one got worse and then it got worse.
But
the
then
thing
it
is,
hit a pace
yeah,
where
it
you were like,
eases you in though, and
Yeah.
then it's like
when you get the scene where she pins him down, gets naked,
Yeah.
and you find out what the glistening fluid's all about and everything like that, you're like, right, that's where it's going. That's
at
where
that
it's
point-
at now.
At that point,
think
I
it
was,
was-
like, "Whoa, hold
I
on,
think it was
pump the
cum
brakes a bit."
cookies. That was the
Yeah.
peak, and then I was like, and it stays there.
I actually thought the just the bottle full of cum was worse.
It was worse, but the cookies came first, didn't they? And that was kind of like that was the setting, and
You
you're
might want
like,
to think about your phrasing on the cookies came first.
I don't know what type of cookies you eat. But
Look, I can't fault any of the voice acting in this.
No.
Kosuri was a shit character, but was there to drive the plot and did what she needed to do.
I can forgive it.
Anyone, yeah, you could have replaced her with literally any character you felt
Yeah.
like to do the same job.
I just feel like this anime. I agree with you, Grayson. And it's not very often I agree with you on many things in anime. I found this one quite cringy for a start, but it was funny. And as I progressively got through the anime, I was like, oh, this is funnier, funnier. And then I was like, when I got to the one where he gets pinned down, and I was like, we're a bit far here. But then I think even the anime realizes, okay, we don't want to go that far.
Yeah, but you say that, and then you get the scene where she gushes all over him.
Yeah, it's the fact that once you get past the shock of it and the show,
because you're not used to that sort of thing.
it wears off. The shock value wears off, and
Yeah.
once that's worn off, you are just left with funny.
Yes,
And the thing is, right, once I ignored a lot of that lewdness, actually, I really enjoyed the story. I found it was really fun to watch.
it's not one of those things where you're like hanging on for the next episode. It doesn't leave you wanting more or anything like that. You're just like, that was funny. I'll watch another one.
Like I said to you, I think the first two I watched and I was like, this is all right. Got to the third one, that was it. I was in. I was hooked, and I watched it all in one night. Literally one night, watched it all, loved it in the end. And I came back to you and said, it's the weirdest show I think I've watched, and I've watched a lot of weird shows, but it was so funny. There were so many laughing bits that I actually properly laughed at, and it's very rare that I properly laugh at something from anime. But
You're
this
welcome.
was funny.
It was my suggestion.
Of course, it fucking was. 90% of these are your suggestions.
Because you're a pervert, that's why.
It does what High School of the Dead missed. High School of the Dead came so close to being this.
Yeah, but High School of the Dead wasn't trying to be funny.
No, it had its comic relief, but it wasn't trying to be funny. But
It was mainly just for ecchi, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They just went out of their way to try and show you some
Tits.
tits and ass, and
yeah,
that's it, really. That's
what this show does. It goes out of its way to show you lewdness.
I mean, you get full boob maybe twice,
Once
even. Yeah,
Not that we're counting.
They're not there for that. They were there for the dirty jokes and dirty moments.
But the
Very-
story was good.
I'm
The
very
story
surprised
was
those
good.
jokes landed in translation, though.
Yeah, but they did,
They did. Every single one of them was.
and they were voice acted
Yeah.
brilliantly.
I'll have you
Who's
know.
our main
dirty
dude?
jokes. Dirty jokes.
Not the actor,
literally-
like the character, because whoever did his voice was fucking great.
Okuma.
Whoever did his voice was fantastic.
Yeah, IMA's was brilliant.
IMA's was really good.
Anna's as well.
The fact that
Arna's
you
was
can
excellent.
shout cock and balls and it be a straight face, because it fucking was from her.
Yep.
I don't want to know how many takes that took.
Could you imagine the fun that they had making this
know.
as well? Like,
The outtakes.
Imagine us three if we had to do this.
I think
as-
we'd fucking run with it.
We would
Yeah,
run
it'd
with
take
it
us
so
6
much.
months,
Oh
but
yeah.
Look, it's one of those ones that I'd actually turn around and say I'd recommend watching it, but not because it's like an amazing
sit down and
anime or
binge
anything
it.
like that. No.
Don't.
But I would recommend people to watch this because of how fucking different and how out there that is.
I have recommended this to an anime fan who only watches like One Piece and Dragon Ball and One Punch Man, very serious sort of animes. I recommended this show. I was
Yeah.
like, you need to break away from that fucking superhero
Have something
stereotypical
different.
mold.
My only problem with this is
Episode 12.
trying to explain it with.
That is my only qualm.
It's my only problem is episode 12.
No, my only problem with this anime is it's one of those animes where you try and convince people that anime is not like that, and then they see you watching this, and
Yeah, but
it's
does
100% this.
Does this fall in that kind of Rick and Morty category where it's not designed to be a cartoon, it's just in the form of a cartoon? This is designed to be comedy first.
They
and
decided
be weird.
They decided to dub this.
Yeah.
That's how different it is, that they actually, because some of the ones that really push the boundaries don't get dubbed because they don't think the Western audience will like how close to that borderline they're getting.
But the
2,
jokes
they only appear on
translate.
Pornhub.
Yeah. And this one they've actually gone, do you know what? Western audiences will like this. Let's dub it and see how well it does.
But like I said, there's a story here, and it's a good story.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed watching.
I would love
the
a
story.
season 2 of this.
Oh,
I would love it.
watch
I'd like a
yeah.
season 2. I'd
Yeah.
watch it. Again, I don't think anyone should ever binge this.
No.
I think this is, spread out over a week when you've got nothing else to watch in an evening. Pop an episode on because you'll laugh your ass off.
Or if you are watching those serious animes and you want
Yeah.
to break it up and do something a little bit different, a little bit easy watching, but
this is
funny.
that pickled ginger.
Yeah.
It resets the palate.
Yep.
I wouldn't really say it resets the palate. I think it
When
sends
you're
it-
watching something
I
very
think
serious.
it sends it something else. It sends your palate somewhere else, doesn't it?
So let's give Shimonita a rating. Jim, what would you rate Shimonita?
A 7. I'll give it a 7.
I'm coming in on exactly the same number, 7.
Yeah, I'd say 7.5, but I'm happy. I'm happy with a 7.
It's not good, but what it does better than any other show I've seen do. It's
better than average, easily.
If I read the synopsis of this, I'd never watch it in a million years. But I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah, if I'd have seen a trailer for this, I'd have gone,
What the fuck?
I might watch it.
Depending on what the trailer has.
Yeah, depending on what the trailer has.
If they're packing in all those one-liners and
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? You'd wait like, I need to watch this.
Do we need a trailer? Don't we just need the intro right at the end? It's just cock and balls.
Yeah.
That's a selling.
Yeah.
That's a selling point.
In
isn't
a
it?
world. You know what I'm on about, the whole narrator part at the start.
Oh, what, at the beginning?
We're going to have to do that as one of the intros or endings, but that entire monologue is really funny and really good, by the way.
There's not much to say about Shimonita, really.
That intro
But
sounds
it's
like
just-
a Pokemon intro.
It does.
I love the intro.
It's good.
Like, we never
but
have
the
talked about
voiceover is
it.
like, we find our adventurers Ash and Brock doing this today. This has the same thing.
Yeah.
It literally does that in the same voice.
The intro has so many dick innuendos. It's ridiculous.
The outro is phenomenal as well. The fucking dancing water worm snake things. Fuck me.
No, it's the intro where she's like got the measuring thing up against his trousers, and then she goes from like a pencil to a carrot to like a massive blooming. What is that even?
Mara?
Mara or something?
Sure, why
it's
not?
huge.
Artichoke?
An artichoke.
Artichoke.
You're in farm country now.
Kiss my artichoke. Right, so 7. Are we settling on a 7?
This is the hottest and steamiest episode we've ever done.
In more ways
In
than
more
one.
ways than one.
So Shimonita gets her Summoning Boys 7 out of 10.
Go watch it.
I'd milk that cow.
Moo.
And on that note, it's time for us to chuff off. All you summoners can join us next time, where we will change the tone a little bit by reviewing Spirited Away.
Yay.
Yay.
Ghibli.
Yay.
Ghibli. We all know what happened the last one.
Ghibli. Gobbly.
If you've got any questions or queries, or want to discuss this latest episode, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at How Not to Summon, or join us on our Discord at How Not to Summon a Podcast. I've been Sheeny Senpai.
Yeah, come talk to us, guys. And I've been Jim.
On the Discord, preferably, and I've been Grayson.
Cock and balls!
In a world.
Hurrah!
Get your combo!